Welcome back to another episode of the Track World News Podcast, episode 5. We had a huge weekend in track and field here. I'm sitting down with our co-host, Mr. Noah Williams. How you doing today, brother?
What's going on, my boy? I'm blessed and highly favored, dog. Feeling good. Some good performances this weekend. I'm excited to touch upon them, man. It's starting to feel like the season is heating up, so I'm excited about it. How you feeling, my boy?
Feeling good. Weekend was straight, had a good time, all good stuff. And finally, I feel the early season quote, that stuff's done. No more. I'm done with early season. We in it now, so it feels like you said, track's finally here. So I can't wait. It's looking good. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the topics we will be going over today. First, Noah Lyles, ties American record in the 150 meters, just misses out on Bolt's world record there. Sydney McLaughlin runs a 22:07, second fastest 200 in the world. What does this mean for her going into the 400-meter hurdles later on? Akani Simbine is trying to collect all of the Avengers stones, it seems like, just taking out name after name after name in the men's 100. How's he going to look for the rest of this season? Candace Hill, world record in the 150 meters. Another name we got to be talking about going throughout the year. And then our boy Rai Benjamin setting out a world lead in the 400-meter hurdles as well, with a huge response from Dos Santos' race last week. And then we close it out. I am going to be running in the 400 at the Prefontaine Classic. Got to get some notes from Noah Williams on how I should be doing this thing. So we'll get into all of that and more. You definitely don't want to miss out on any of this. All right, let's start it off. Noah Lyles ties American record at the Atlanta City Games with a time of 14.41. Before we get into the actual race itself, I want to talk about the meet and just the Atlanta City Games as a whole. Not sure if you had been there before, or you're seeing it on TV, but what's your thoughts on this type of meet? It's a unique structure. Could you kind of share with the people, for those that didn't get to watch it, how this is different from a typical track meet?
Yeah, so the Adidas Atlanta City Games is a little different, like you said. It's a street meet with maybe like 5 or 6 lanes, and they come almost like a carnival circus would come to your city and set up all the events, set up everything in the park, in Piedmont Park, I think it's called, in Atlanta. And it's a big event for the city, just so everybody come out. It's almost like a festival or a circus or a carnival, however you want to put it, but it's definitely unique in our sport. And for the viewership aspect of it, I thought being there last year, it was much more entertaining, much more fun, and much more like chill than any other track meet I've been to. Because it's in the middle of the park, it's kind of chill vibe, nice music playing, vendors, all that. Like, the environment is way cooler than the typical track meet. So I think that'll cover it.
There you go. Yeah, it's nice. Like, it's I've competed a similar type of thing on the other side, is like for pole vaulters. Like we've done like street meets where it's like you're vaulting in the middle of a street. It's like a similar type of thing. Like, you're just popping up a track in the middle of a park and everything. It's cool and stuff like that. You competed in that last year?
I was supposed to, but
okay.
we had some technical difficulties the day before the race, and we just didn't run. But I was there. It was cool to experience.
There you go. Did you do any like running like strides or anything like on the track? I'm curious, like, what's that? How does it feel any different from like a regular track? What's the feeling on that platform?
It does. It looked like it was a different like setup this year. It looked like it was actually on the ground. But last year it was raised up. So it was maybe like 5 feet off of the ground, and it was supported by like, just like plywood and boards basically. So you could feel like if you were in a particular lane and you would get some dead spots or crack in that drywood or in that plywood, like it would feel like a disadvantage, So small track too at that. So you got to be careful, like not fall and like do all that other stuff. But like, so the logistics part of it for an athlete is kind of dangerous. Like, it's not really optimal, to be honest. So I was surprised they were running this fast considering the circumstances. But as a viewer, like, I'll put it at 10 out of 10. But as an athlete, it's not optimal.
Yeah. It's a cool thing. Like, I think especially if you're there, you get to be right up on the track right there. Like, you're not 40, like looking, especially if you're like on the opposite, if you're on the back stretch of a track and you got to watch the 100, like, bro, you're like 100 meters away. It's trying to look at these like little things. So it's makes it a lot easier. It's a cooler viewing environment. But I could imagine, like, if you're doing a temporary track in the middle of a park, you probably gonna have some challenges, as an athlete there. But it's cool. It's cool, and I liked. It was on YouTube. I think their production, the production both on Adidas as well as on Noah's stream was pretty solid. So we talk about accessibility with watching our sport right now, because there's a lot of things going behind streaming platforms and things of that nature. But that wasn't a problem here. It was able to get it for free on YouTube, make it a lot easier. So it's a good production, man. Can't complain. So let's start off. Noah with the 14:41 ties the American record. What are your thoughts on this race and breakdown of what you saw from his performance?
Yeah, first, congrats to the bro. Congrats to Noah for that, man. That's huge to write himself in history in yet another event. I think off rip going into the race, I was kind of expecting him to either tie or beat Tyson. I know, he got the same coach that Tyson had, so he gets to see all of the things that Tyson was doing and all the things that Tyson was doing when he was running super, super fast. And I think that Noah in his head is greater than Tyson was. So as an expectation standpoint, I kind of expected this, but to actually watch the race and see him execute, especially like when he got the 70, like when he got the 70, 75, he always kind of pulls from the field in the 100. But it was dope to see it over 150, so you could really see his acceleration and how he could hold it, and how long he could hold it, how special he is at doing that. So that was my favorite part of watching the race, probably his 70 to finish. He had a little of this going on, though. But I was very pleased with watching it. Good job to all the guys. Zarnell did a good job too. Great performance there too. But congrats on Noah, man. I really enjoyed watching that run.
Yeah, Zarnell's someone I think we can't go understated as well, because he put the fifth fastest time ever, as well as his 200s has been looking really, really strong as well. There's a point like in that first, like you said, like half that race, that first 70, I was like, oh crap, Zarnell's about to win this thing. Like I was like, there's no way that Zarnell's about to win this thing. That's crazy. It's gonna be a huge win for him. And then, like you said, like Noah started pulling it away a little bit, which was and then running that American record. You're talking about had a little arm to the side. Could you share what you mean? Like why you think that might be going down, and any insight on the arm swing here?
With Noah, it could have been a lot of things. I think it could have been something as simple as wind blowing him in a certain direction. It could have been fatigue. It could have been, his left glute wasn't firing, so he was overcompensating by swinging his right arm. Like it was just kind of for me, it was kind of rare, I guess, to see him. He didn't break form. Like I'm not even hinting at that, but I did see a little bit of that, like this action here, which is very like rare for me to ever see in a few people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the performance that we were seeing from him has been very impressive. It was a great race, like you said. It's what's the emotion? What do you think is the feeling after this? Because we saw the second he crossed that finish line, he was clearly like upset he didn't break that world record. Like he's been wanting to beat Bolt's records, and he's come close, but he hasn't had one of those breaks yet. Like what do you think is that emotion in that moment where you're like, all right, I'm tying the American record, but I'm not getting that one, like what his goal was. He's coming up a little short. Like, how do you manage those emotions of, I still did something extremely impressive, I set a huge personal best, did all that, but I didn't come out and get what I wanted?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I think it's got to be like two outcomes, and it's one follows the other. So that first one is like, damn, I didn't get my record that I wanted. It could be vice versa, but this is kind of how I see it. Finish the race, look at the time. Damn, I didn't get the time that I wanted, but I accomplished all of these things. I should be grateful for them. But now I still got that goal to work towards. So I think it's a healthy kind of thing, as long as you're not getting too hard on yourself, right? So I'm gonna go through the little process again. I crossed the line. I see the time. I wanted to break the world record in the 150. I came a 10th off. Damn. Oh, I'm so mad. You know what I'm saying? But wait a minute. I just broke an American record on the way. I ran faster than I ever ran. And now I still got something to work towards. Okay, cool. You know, that's kind of like, I feel like that's the healthiest way that you could kind of have emotions like that. Because as an athlete like Noah or anybody, college, high school, professional, we're going to set goals for ourselves. Like, you know, in the pole vault for you, right? You set a goal. Ah, damn, I didn't get it today. You're going to be a little upset, but now I got all the more motivation to still accomplish that goal. You know, as long as you can avoid discouragement, you're good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like it's while he didn't get the original, which like world record, like that's great. Like, hey, my goal is to be the fastest person in the history of the world at this distance. Like that's insane. Like to say like, yeah, if I'm not the fastest man ever and I'm the second fastest man ever at this thing, it's a failure. It's like, that's nuts. So like he put together a really great race. And I think when combining a few of the things we've talked about already and the stuff that he's brought up, like I feel right now, the American record has to be broken this year because you mentioned that. So he's had his coach who was Tyson Gay's coach, American record holder. He's gone through and in these practices, he was talking about in the interview leading up to this race that he was hitting Tyson Gay times in the 60. And he's like, all you got to worry about is I'm hitting Tyson Gay American record times. That's what you got to worry about. And then he goes in and he ties Tyson Gay's record. And this is at the 150, right in between that sweet spot of his American record that he currently has and the world championship that he just got in the 100 meters this past year. If the American record doesn't go down this year, I don't know when it ever will. Like, this is the time. I feel like everything has been lined up perfectly for like, hey, you've got the practices, you feel the confidence. We got Fred Curley saying, I'm hitting the world record next time I'm on the track. Like, the momentum is building, I feel. And while the times haven't been there for the 100 yet, like we're still around 990, it's not terribly slow, it's not terribly fast, it's kind of in the middle. I feel this has to be the year that the American record's going down. Like, what do you think?
I said it in January. I think that Noah's gonna run 69. I'm sorry, 969. I said it back in January. I think it was this first 60. He PR'd the first meet of the year, and I said, yeah, he gonna run 969. Is the what is the American record at the moment?
Let me pull it up. I can't remember exactly. I know it's Tyson. I'll
tell
you in a second.
Is it? I don't want to say
9. Oh man, I should know this. The fact that I don't know this is crazy. Yeah, it is 969. It is 969. Exactly.
69. Okay, so at the time I wasn't aware of the American record. I thought it was 71 for some reason or 77. But I predicted him to run 969, and I still think he's on track to run 969. So that's where I'm gonna stand on it. He gonna run 969 this year.
Yeah. Book it. Like, yo, I'm for it. Like, I think it's going to be like seeing this out of the 150 is going to be a good one. And 60, I mean, that is so fast though right now, bro. Like, what's his personal best right now? Like, so his personal best in the 100 is, where is it? I'm trying to go down. He's at 983.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's going down, but that is a lot of, like, that's a pretty big difference. 60 to go to 68 from 83. Like, that's some distance. Now, look, on the other side of it, I mean, Fred Curley went from, what was it? Like his PR before going into 2022 was like a 10-0, and then he went and he ran the 976, in 2022. So it can happen. But man, like that's moving. You have to be flawless with that thing in that execution, man.
Yeah, it's gonna take a perfect race from him. Obviously the best race he ever had. But with Simbine and with Coleman, right? I think that's naturally gonna push the competitor in Noah to do something he's never done before. So he's got the field to help him get to that. I already said it. I already spoke on it. I put it in the universe, so I'm not going back on it. He's going to run 969. So it'll be a big jump, but I'm confident that he has the ability and the want to get it done.
And so I touched on it just a little bit earlier, but it was it wasn't on the track grade. We didn't even plan to talk about this because I forgot it happened. But the Fred Curley tweet putting out, I'm breaking the 100-meter world record next time I hit the track. I mean, you guys aren't in the same event. I don't know how closer, not close you guys are, but like as a competitor, if you were in the hundreds, so if you were going up against like Fred as a 100-meter runner, and you're seeing that, are you putting like, oh yeah, I'm putting a lot of credence in it because Fred's, if there's a person that could potentially break a 100-meter world record, he's in the names of it. Is that something you're like, oh yeah, I'm taking it seriously, or is it just this is Fred trolling again because we know that man loves trolling and just putting things out there? How do you take it?
With him, you gotta kind of like look between the lines, damn near. I think you gotta understand that everything he says, especially on Twitter, is intentional, right? He trolls a lot. He speaks a lot on his own personal greatness as well. So I think this is a situation where you got to kind of read between the lines. He obviously has the confidence in himself, as he should. And if you got the confidence in yourself, don't have shame in sharing. Next time I step on the track, I'm gonna break the world record. Like, do I think he genuinely believes he will? No. But to put it out there, like, I respect it. It's probably gonna stir the pot a little bit. I saw Jacobs had commented on it when he saw it. Jacobs like put the laughing emoji or whatever. A couple of people was like, "Oh, Fred account got hacked and stuff." Like, they clowning, bro. And I get it. Like, I don't think he's gonna break the world record next time he steps on the track. But all the power to him for having the balls to even speak on it or share it with the world, because I know that's one of his goals.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's a little different. I think that my thought. I think that he thinks he's actually going to break this world record. I think he genuinely thinks that. Is he going to? Hell no. Like he's not breaking the world record on the next track. It's just being honest. It's not going to happen. Like I love watching Fred run. I think he's a great character for the sport and think it's awesome. But I think that what he's doing, like you said, very calculated on. Does he genuinely believe? Like the reason I can't knock and think that he genuinely believes it is because he's been saying it so consistently for like since he started the 100. When he was having like phase, 99.58, whatever it is. Like he's been talking about these world records for so long. So it's like it's consistent in his messaging. It's not like we had some random person, just out of nowhere saying, I'm gonna break the world record that's never talked about it. It's like if Sidney McLaughlin was just like, hey, I'm breaking the 400-meter world record. I mean, like, that's not your character. You don't say that type of stuff. You've never been the person to bring up world records and stuff. That's weird. But like for him, like he talks about it all the time. And so it's like, I can see why he thinks it, but hell no, it's not happening. Like where we're at, like we got to break 10-0 right now before we start talking about world records. Like we haven't been there yet this year. So could he potentially be in that like PR, like, hey, 975, 974 shape? Potentially we can get there, but like world record next time you hit the track? Nah, I'm sorry. I can't subscribe to that podcast. I can't subscribe to it. It's just not, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
more power to Fred. If you watching this, bro, more power to you.
Yeah, I respect it. No, I like it. I like that you're doing it. Like, I love, because now I can talk about this stuff and we got people that want to hear about it. So I love that you bring it up. More content, more stuff to talk about. So please keep saying you're going to break the world record and then do it, because I will admit that I was wrong. And that is always a great clip to post on it of like, look, I was wrong as hell. And those are always fun episodes because I have done that multiple times. All right, up next. Go on over to LA. We had Sydney McLaughlin, 400-meter hurdler, world record holder, running a 22:07, second fastest time in the entire world, also beating the likes of Gabby Thomas and Abby Steiner in the process. What type of confidence does this put Sydney McLaughlin in for this 400-meter hurdles world record after running a time this fast?
I think this tells her that she could be more aggressive. In order to break that record, her own record that she's broken time and time again, she's got to be aggressive, right? like you have to attack this race. And for her to run that crazy ass 200, like it gave her all the confirmation she could possibly need. Like, okay, yeah, I'm fast as shit. I can do this, right? And we know she's strong. She never really had a problem finishing races since she was in Rio. And you know, I think it's just a little confirmation to herself. You know, she should already feel like she could do it, but it's just it's always better to see that and go through that a time like that. You know.
Yeah, like she's running times that you have people genuinely asking, can Sydney McLaughlin make the 200-meter team for Team USA? It's like, how many 400-meter hurdlers do you know, like in a country like the United States, where you're like, no, yeah, you can genuinely make the 200-meter field? It's her. That's it. Like maybe Rai, but like I don't even like that's even going to be tough. Like it doesn't happen where you have those types of people because it takes so many different kind of techniques and things that you're going. Like this type of race, like, and also beating the people that you're beating. Like you're beating gold medalists. You're beating people that like are champions in our sport and like our big face. Like that's a huge win and like huge confidence going into it. Like I think this almost guarantees, not guarantee, I say guarantee. I'm a big guarantee. This is the guarantee podcast, I guess. I mean, she's breaking the world record, obviously. She's going to break it. It's going to be what time can she get? Because right now, I think her world record is 50.36. And to even say that there's a possibility of going sub 50 in the 400-meter hurdles is nuts to me. But I think she can do it. Like after seeing this race, like, that 400, like going sub 50 in the 400 hurdles, I think she has that chance, that opportunity, especially with running this fast. Like, I don't know. Am I crazy for saying we're seeing a sub 50 in the 400 hurdles?
No, you're not crazy at all. I don't think that you're crazy. I mean, it's a technical race, and she has to have the proper rhythm and the proper steps, and she can't be like flustering over hurdles and stuff like that. It's a technical race, so anything can happen. But considering her talent, her actual talent level, and her top end speed, like it's attainable. It can happen this year, So, but I kind of want to shift gears a little bit. Like if we talk about Sydney McLaughlin, so like okay, she got the world record in the 4 hurdles. Okay, like multiple times. Like you're Olympic champ, multiple time world champ, multiple time Olympian. You're my pick to win the Olympics this year and honestly break the world record. So, like, is it going to get to a point where, like, you're going to start to – because we talked about this some years ago. It was going around the sport. Like, will she, venture off and tackle a new challenge? I remember they were trying to brew, like, a her versus Shawnee Miller-Weibo 400 thing, and that never really happened. So, you can run – she ran well in the 100 hurdles, too. I don't know her time, but she ran well. She just ran a crazy 200 meters. She beat Gabby Thomas. Like, are you going to try to challenge – are you going to try to challenge yourself now? Like – okay, go win the Olympics. After that, we still got a lot of meets. Are you going to challenge yourself? Like, I want to see you hop in a different bag. Maybe you want to do it for the competitor in you. Maybe not. You're comfortable doing it for hurdles. But, like, is it time we start to have the conversation like, Sydney, like, you could really be the greatest in the sport. Really. Like, what you trying to do? Like, do you want it?
Yeah, I'm thinking – so off the post-race interview that she said, and like, this is post, so you take it with a grain of salt, but someone had asked like, hey, are we going to see you do the 400-meter hurdles and the open 400-meter doubles at the Olympics? She said no, but she's not going to sign that off to do that in the future. Like, so potentially we could see her do it, but I'm with you. I think like in order to cement your legacy, not just as one of the greats, but as the greatest, like she has, and like she's one of the few athletes that has the potential to cement herself as the greatest track and field athlete of all time based on her talent, the events she does, and the events that are in her strong suit, that I'd love to see her continue and do something else. Like if I were her, this would be my game plan. So I'm taking it as if I'm the coach. This is what we're doing. All right, Sydney, excellent race in the 200. This is what the game plan looks like. Olympics, we're going to be doing the 400-meter hurdles. You're going to win Olympic gold in the 400-meter hurdles. And after that, not only are we going to do the Olympic gold 400-meter hurdles, we're also going to have you do the 4x4 as well as the 4x1. We're going to be doing the Allison Felix special because you got that talent and you're going to get 3 gold medals at the Olympics this year. So you're doing the 400-meter hurdles, the 4x4, and the 4x1. You're doing all 3 of those this year. Then after that, next year, we're done with the 400-meter hurdles. You put the world record at 49.99. We're never touching that thing again because you don't need it. You've proven everything you need to prove there. We're going to the Open 400. Open 400 has the most untouchable record of all time in track and field right now. Ain't nobody thinks that record can get broken. Why? Because they ain't never seen Sydney McLaughlin taking it going all at it. So we're going through with the 400 meters as well. And on top of that, we're then going to become a 400-meter, 200-meter sprinter, and we're going to try to make the Olympic team or the World Championship team in the 4 and the 2 going next year and try to podium in the 200 and the 400. That's going to be what Sydney McLaughlin's going to do in the future. She's going to win she's going to win 3 medals this year. Then she's going to break that world record in the 400, and she's going to make the team in the 200 as well, and she's going to become the greatest track and field athlete of all time. That's what Coach Weitzman says. You can book that.
You heard it here first. Heard it here first, man. Coach Wade's been putting it down, putting his foot down, man. He don't care what Sydney got to say. 3 medals this year. So then wait a minute. If she's going to do the 2 and the 4, then she's going to do the 4x1 and the 4x4 then, right?
Yes, there you go. Now Noah's picking up. He's got it. For them. So that's the plan and how she's going to get there. But I feel after this year, if you, especially by putting it if you can put that world record in the 49s, which I feel is probably because their coaching staff and everyone's like, hey, we're trying to put this number in something that no one can touch. I feel like that is obviously got to be a 49. I don't think there's many other barriers that you would want to break. Oh yeah, 50.1. Nah, miss me with that. It's 49. I feel once they do that, there's going to be no reason for her to touch the 400 hurdles again, in my opinion. Yeah,
unless that appearance fee is 100 racks, I don't see her doing it too much after she hit a 49. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. All the best to her this season, though. I know I was clowning, but I really have a great appreciation for Sydney, the athlete, and the Christian. I think she's doing a lot of great things in her life and stuff, just watching from afar. And I got a lot of admiration and respect for her as an athlete, seeing how she conducts herself on and off the track. So shout out to Sydney.
Yeah. Been a professional in this type of thing. When I say not just a actual running professional, but just as a professional version of herself since high school. People have been watching her compete at a high level. She's been doing these interviews since she was, a freshman, sophomore in high school. And now, nearly a decade later, still being able to do that at a high level. You've never been in the media saying, anything crazy. It's, been a consummate professional. So excited to see where she goes with it, man. But she's one of those few athletes that can do multiple events, or probably, you get so good, it's all right, it's time to try something new, which you do not see that a whole lot in track and field. So excited for it. All right, so go on over to the 100 meters, sticking out here in the Atlanta City Games. Akani Simbine, 9.90, new world lead. The professionals finally take that world lead back from the high schoolers. So congrats to them. It only took about a month. And so he gets a pretty big win too. And he's been saying, collecting the stones like this dude's Thanos. So he's beaten Christian Coleman, Fred Curley, Ackeem Blake, Ferdinand Omanyala, and Kendal Williams. Either the current world leader in the 100, or you have world record holders in there. You have world championship finalists, world champion. You got a lot of big names that he's beating coming into here. Can this be the year that we see Akani Simbine, be able to win this 100-meter gold at the Olympics?
He's got a puncher's chance, man. He genuinely got a puncher's chance. I think he's having a great year so far. Knocking some heads off, man. He ain't scared of nobody. And I like that. I love that from a competitor, but rolling with my guys, man. The competition is just so stiff that I can't give him the nod. And I haven't seen him run and perform at a big ass meet like these other guys have. So nah. He's got a puncher's chance, but I don't put him in my 2 heaviest hitters in 100 meter is Noah and Christian. It's Noah and Christian. Even though he beat Christian this year, is Noah Christian to me. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe he proves me wrong. Prove me wrong. But Noah Christian, and I really like Zarnell as well. So that's kind of like the names that are coming is relevant to me right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like having him win. I don't know if he's going to win. Like there's some. I think when it comes to the winning part, like you said, there's a few people that I got that have the potential of winning. Like one based on like the lights are shining brightest when it's at the Olympics, and it's so much more than just who has the fastest time in the world at this point, or where we're at. Like there's so much going on to it, but I do think the fact that he has beaten so many people that are going to or have the potential to be in this final. Like if I were to tell you that Coleman, Curley, Blake, Omanyala, and Williams were all in the 100-meter final at the Olympics, you'd probably be like, yeah, I can see that. Like none of those people are completely off. It's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And so it's like, hey, you're beating them. It's like you gotta beat them at some point. And I think having this right now, while do I put you at the top for who's got the best chance? No, but I think he's in that second tier. Like if I'm tiering athletes, like I think he's in that tier 2 of like I would put for the tier 2 potential champions where I'd be like, oh, this is an upset. I'd have that, like I think Ferdinand Omanyala is in there. I got Akani Simbine being right in there. I got DeGrasse there right now, man, just where he's been at recently. I think DeGrasse is now in that tier. So I think that he's in that second tier of like, yo, you're really fast, but can we see it at a championship? I think so. No, I'm not picking you to win, but it's a big race. Like that's a big win for him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Congrats to the bro. He probably came a long way for that race too. Like I thought that was even more impressive. Because I think Tebogo, he came in kind of like soon. I don't know where he trains, but he came in kind of soon, and he didn't perform the best. Like, just to be frank. So I don't know, but extra congrats to Simbine, man. This thing.
I mean, you mentioned that right there with Tebogo. Like when I was looking at it, it looked like Tebogo just didn't want to be there. If you ask me,
flat.
like he just like they're showing the camera angle. I was like, it looks like he's just like, yeah, all right, it's a nice race. I'll see you in a different one. Like I don't know if he might have been like, yo, this track's got some dead spots in it. I ain't gonna run that quick. It was a 2.7 meter headwind. It just looked like he was a little disinterested in getting that win. But I mean, Simbine, looked real great. Tebogo, I got to see him sharpen back up. Hopefully we'll see when I guess at Prefontaine, we'll see him there. So he's got to sharpen up a little bit before I got him back in that mix.
Yeah.
Sure. Awesome. So sticking with the Atlanta City Games on the women's side for the 150 meters, we had Candace Hill, 150 meter world record time of 16.30. Just outleaned Ophelia at the line to get that world record. Both of them ended up breaking it, but she had a slightly faster time. No, you have any breakdown of that performance and what this can mean going forward here?
To me, it looked like just a smooth race from her. Like she looked good, really from like 40 on in. Favor closed really well. That last like 30, 40 meters. But like from 40 meters in, like after she got out of her drive, like Candace looked really good. Like, and she was on it like all the way on the inside too, so it was hard for me to like kind of gauge it. But I mean, it looked like just a smooth ass run. Like it looked like like she was just running. You know what I'm saying? It was just basic, but it was super graceful. You know what I'm saying? Good to watch, and she got a world record out of the shit. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it looked like her drive phase was just like her head was down for a lot of that beginning parts of the race, really like building up that power, in the first quarter of it. And obviously, it built up and ended up working out for her. I mean, with these races, I didn't bring it up earlier, but I do want to touch on it. Like these races were so unique in the fact that it's a straightaway. So it's like you're doing 200 meters all on a straightaway, 150 meters all on a straightaway. Does that change like an athlete's perception of like what like how we're racing this, because you're no longer just racing and doing like a curve, like many of these athletes are used to, coming off a curve, going into it. But that really wasn't the case for how these ones are performing. Does that change mentally at all? Like how you're doing this thing or anything or not so much?
I think so. I think you're a little bit more aggressive. You're a little bit more almost like expecting faster, because we do 150 time trials in practice, or like 200. You know what I'm saying? We obviously run on a turn in competition, but when you run a straight, like naturally the mind is like, okay, I can run faster in a straight line than I can on a turn, so I should be faster in a 150. So I think the mindset is kind of just like more aggressive. All right, let me go get this. Let me go do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I mean, it was a big one for her. Like, I'll be honest, I was not counting her in for it at all. I thought it was going to be between Ophelia and Talitha Diggs. Personally, that was going to be ended up taking it. And so seeing her win, I was like, oh shoot, okay, there you go. First off, World Athletics got to update their thing here. They still got her picture from high school as her athlete picture in the bio. Something crazy. I pulled up on it. I was like, no, they doing her dirty. They still got the high school photo on there. So you gotta whoever's in charge with the website there, we got to make some updates because that was crazy. But yeah, I don't know if I've got her making our like the team in a 1 or the 2, but I think like now you're moving up a tier for me. Like, all right, you probably were in like tier 3. Like, I think you might be in like tier 2 for making Team USA for the women. But like in the 1 and the 2, both of those are going to be dog fights to make this team. So it's going to just be hard. But I think there's a chance, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely a chance. I know she started training down at LSU last year with Dennis Shaver, and she's with Favor and Aaliyah and Micaiah. And it's a great group, so I'm glad that it's bringing the best out of her, and she's having a great season so far. She ran really well in the 100 too, so she might be tier 2, but I definitely would slate her to be one of the girls to make that relay pool right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. That we can definitely see her on that, and I think this can really put her in a good position for. Hey, I want to not only be in the relay pool, you can be on that second leg. Like, hey, if you're running them 150s, so like you got a really good straight. We know that, so we can see you on that second leg there. Put you in a really good position. So she's in the mix now, man. She's in the mix. All right, going back out to LA. So we had Rai Benjamin putting down a world lead. Also, the fastest opener of all time in the 400-meter hurdles with a 46.64. And this is a huge response from Alison Dos Santos, who ran the world lead just last week in a 46.86. What was kind of your takeaways from this race and what it's going to look like moving forward here?
Okay, I maniacally watched this race. Like, I watched this race more so than anything else from the weekend, and to me, it looked like an opener. That's the crazy part. Like, he ran very fast, but it was multiple hurdles in that first 200 where it looked like, all right, let me figure this out. Let me properly gauge, like, how I'm trying to bring my my momentum through this hurdle to carry me. I thought he lost a little bit. I think I want to say on hurdle 4 or 5, but he was on the backstretch, and it looked like he had lost a little bit of momentum. Then going into that turn, I could almost see like a re-engagement of his stride pattern. And last 3 looked strong. I saw he kind of had to push to get to those hurdles, but it looked strong and he closed well. So the time obviously speaks for itself, but to me, it looked like an opener in the sense that he's still getting his rhythm. He's still cleaning up some things. Like, that's not going to be his best time. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can get concerned if somebody has too good of a race too early, but that looked like he has some positives. He has some things to work on. That's exactly what we want for an opener. You don't want to go off your opener and you be like, damn, I ain't got nothing to work on. You know what I'm saying? So he set himself up good, man. Shit, this 400 hurdles, hey, them 3 dogs. There's 3 dogs in the 400 hurdles this year. So I'm gonna enjoy the show, man.
Well, that was a good one. Like, I've been Team Rai. I'll be Team Rai till the day I die in 400 hurdles. I'll say that every single year. I predict that he's going to win the World Championships, the Olympics every year. I'm not going to change it. I think he's got the talent to be able to do it. I just needed to see him put it together at the right time. Like he'll run insanely fast, but it'll just be at the wrong time. And so I need to put it together at the Olympics, at the World Championships, whatever it may be. And that's what I'm looking for. Like, and this race right here, I think it says a couple things. Like you mentioned, like one, huge response from Alison Dos Santos. Hey, you had the world lead. I hope you enjoyed it because that shit going now. And then now, like, hey, you have this fastest time in the world, but there's some areas to improve, like within the race of like, all right, when I'm looking at film, after the race, whatever it is, and you're taking a look at, oh, I was really pushing through those last hurdles. I was tired. Maybe my strides weren't as wide or as long, throughout the front end or whatever it may be. It's like, all right, like that's huge parts of things you can go through. Cause yeah, if you go through it and you're like, yeah, this is a picture perfect race and I ran a really fast time, it's like, crap, how am I going to improve? Like, where am I going to see it? So, that's what you need to see, out of these openers, man. So it was a good performance from him.
Absolutely. Shout out Rai, man. New York. He carrying New York right now, man. I'll be back to help y'all. But he carrying New York right now, man. I can't lie. I gotta give it to him. And you know what's crazy? He just bumped me out of the 2 spot in fastest 400-meter runners from New York ever. So I gotta get that back, by the way. But yeah.
Get that back, bro. Oh, yeah. With that, did y'all ever compete against each other in high school?
Never.
No?
Never. He's a little bit older than me, but I do remember, if we're going to do stories from the track, actually, I can kind of speak on this. I remember it was an indoor meet at Cornell University. Have you ever competed there?
I haven't gone to Cornell, no.
So it's an indoor 200 track. Absolutely the worst track I've ever been on. But they had the state championships there. I think it was my sophomore year, either his senior or junior year. I think it was his senior year. And he ran the 300, and it was just like probably one of the most effortless, graceful, inspiring races I've ever watched, especially as a young kid. And he really like had a mark on me at the time. I'm like, bro, like he is nice, just glided around the track. And it's been the same since. So I got to see him when I was 15. Now I'm 25, and I'm like, damn, like he was really like that then, like he was really like that then. So, it's cool. It's cool to watch, to be able to observe him from the side, and I see Rai around. It's cool.
Yeah, I still remember. What was it? I think it was New Balance Nationals 2015, where he ran that girl over that had the tape. Do you not remember that?
No,
bro,
I don't remember that.
You have to. This is the funniest video. Go on YouTube and look up Rai Benjamin, New Balance Nationals 4x4. And you're going to see this clip. So he's running so this is what happens. So he's running in the 4x4, right? And it's coming around the end, and the volunteers are trying to hold out, the tape for when you cross the finish line and win. Mm-hmm. And so the lady, she drops the tape as the runners are coming through, and she tries to go back and pick it up. And then she looks over and sees that the 400-meter hurdlers, or the 400-meter runners, like, are coming, and she freezes. She doesn't know what to do. So she's standing in the middle of the track while you have these high school national boy 4x400-meter runners coming right at her. It was her and Sydney McLaughlin's brother that were going up against each other at this time, and they just both run this girl over that was holding this tape. And you hear everyone going like, yeah, ooh. Bro, it's the wildest clip. So after this episode, after this, everyone listen to this. After this episode, go and look up that clip, because it is crazy. I remember watching that in high school. It was like, no way, bro. It's nuts.
Yeah,
you got to see that one. That was crazy. But yeah, like Rai, I mean, this puts him, like, it's so hard because like you said, there's 3 dogs in this competition, and all 3 like have the ability to break these world records. So it's like you're picking of the winner. It's really just who's going to be the best on the day, because they all, I feel, are equally as talented. Like they all are running. Like you have to go down to the 13th best time in the 400-meter hurdles to find someone whose name isn't Alison Dos Santos, Carson Warholm, or Rai Benjamin. They have the top 12 times of all time. So it's like they're just dominating, not only this race, but all time. Like this is the best time to watch this event. There is no better time to watch 400 hurdles than at this point right now in the world. And so it's literally just going to come down to who's better on the day. So that's going to be a great race. So we'll have to see how that's going to end up shaking out, because it's they're putting up some crazy times there, for sure. So I don't know if you saw it. This was on the Twitter thing, sticking with the Rai Benjamin. He didn't wear a bib during the 400-meter hurdles. He refused to do it. He's been talking about it recently of like, yo, we got to ban these bibs, get them out of here. They're wasting money. You're killing the environment. And he just decided not to do it. From an athlete standpoint, like, do you think he got talked to at all before or after that race when he decided to take it off? Like, what do you think's going on? Like, I'm sure these meet directors were not happy with the fact that he didn't wear that. I don't know if you got any insight on what you think would have went down during that time.
He, no question, got pressed by an official, you know, like the little pre-meet, like, or the pre-race check-in table lady. Where's your bib? He probably just held it up like, it's here, go right here. You know, I got it on, whatever. And they probably gave him a mouthful, pause, but like, bro, let it go. Like, can we if you don't know who Rai Benjamin is and when he crossed the line, you got a problem. You don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing this for? Like, for real. Like, market our face, not a little bit. What's going on?
I'm with you, man. I hate bibs. I think bibs are the ugliest thing known to man, and we have to get rid of them immediately because it's just ruining the track and field uniform. Like, we spend all this money on designing these amazing uniforms. All this money, whether like, you know, Nike comes out with these new team kits, you know, all of the countries come out with their beautiful uniforms that they're doing. We saw the reveals of them not too long ago. They're putting all this time, effort into it. And then we're going to completely ruin them by putting a giant piece of paper right in the center. So you can't even tell what the country is or what the name is, just completely ruining it. Like, if you're trying to find a way to share with people who these athletes' names are, you can do it in a way that isn't putting a giant slab of paper right in the smack center of it, ruining all of these uniforms. You can put their name printed like in the corner, like just put in Benjamin on the top right-hand corner of his uniform, and you got that there. Oh, but what about the numbers? How do we know who's who? Then put a number underneath it. Benjamin, number 4, whatever it is, you know, like every other sport in the history of the world does. And imagine if imagine LeBron James coming up to an NBA game and he's got to put his bib on his LA Lakers jersey. You know how stupid that would be? It is dumb. I hate it and need to get rid of it immediately. I don't know if you have the same animosity towards bibs as I do, but clearly I am not a fan of these things.
I'm not a fan of bibs, bro. Like, it's so dreadful too, because like you're trying to like focus on your race. Like, you're nervous. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to focus. It's like, oh shit, hold on, before I put my uniform on, let me do this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's whack, bro. It's whack. I'm over it, for real.
Yeah. We got to find better ways to be going through these. I know. So a while ago on my Instagram, this is actually kind of how we started getting in connection, was we were talking about if track and field had numbers, what number would you do? Personally, still my favorite edited photo is that Noah Williams LSU number 24. But like, what? Oh, I kind of broke what I never mind. I just destroyed I just completely screwed up my own question. But what number would you have on your jersey if they said no bibs, you have to put a number on your jersey or your uniform? What are you putting on there?
At the time, I said 24. You know, I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan. Grew up loving Kobe. But right now, I'll probably say 2. 2 is my high school football number. And Kyrie Irving, he wore 2. He wears 11 now, but you know what I'm saying? That's why I wear it. And my older brother wore 2 when he played. So, yeah.
All right. There you go. That's cool. All right. So I didn't completely ruin the question. All right. So that we had some updates over the last couple of years. So that's good. Yeah, I would go with 28. 28 for sure. 28 is my favorite number. So that was my cousin. That's his basketball number. That's my favorite number. So I'm definitely going with 28. But like, yeah, I feel I get why. So not only to identify the athlete, I think the real reason we have bibs is another sponsorship opportunity that they can just put a sponsor on it. But like, I think there's better ways you can do that, man. Like you're sponsoring the meet. Why don't you put like a little banner on the bottom of the production so everyone can see what, you know, whoever the sponsor is, or maybe that race is presented by whomever. Like, I think there's so many other ways you can still monetize the race and not have to make these athletes look like high schoolers. Like it's crazy. Like I've seen high school teams that have numbers on their jerseys. Like you telling me that we can't figure it out at a pro level or something? It's dumb. So I am interested though to see, because he says he's never going to wear these bibs. So are you going to not wear your bib at the Olympic trials? Are you not going to wear your bib at the Olympics? If so, what's going to happen? And could this like lead to something too? Is he starting an initiative where, hey, if Rai's not wearing it, okay, well maybe Sha'Carri ain't wearing it next race. Maybe Carson Warren ain't wearing it. Maybe Michael Norman ain't wearing it. Maybe Fred Curley ain't wearing it. Maybe Coleman. I'm wondering, could this start something? Like, do you think this could start something? Can we start seeing other athletes saying, "No, I'm not doing this," or is it just, it's just Rai, having fun, doing what he want to do?
I mean, if we saw that there's no repercussion for what happened to him, nobody likes wearing a bib, bro. I promise. So if we see that he didn't get a repercussion for that, then I could see more people doing it. And Rai's so vocal about it, I can see it happening. Really.
Yeah, I wonder if I were them, if I were USATF, I'd be like, yo, if you don't wear this again, you won't get a fine or something. If that would be the only way I feel that you do it. Like you'd have to find somebody. If you're not finding anybody, then just take it off, bro. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Stupid anyway. All right, so close these things out for those. What I'm gonna be doing. Your boys hopping back on the track. So I'm running at pre. No, I didn't make the actual final. I'm not a good athlete like that. It's the media 400 meters. But so on Friday, 8:15 p.m. At Eugene, Colin Waitsman. Unfortunately, I'll have to be wearing a bib. So crazy bib talk. We're just talking about it. I'm going to be running the 400 meters. I haven't ran a 400 since 2019 when I ran it in the 4x4 and the DMR. It's been a long time. We've got a pro 400 meter runner here. Perfect chance. No, I need some coaching. I haven't done this in years. What do I got to do to be the best on this track and smoke this field?
Yeah. So we're going to keep it super simple. You told me that you're not as fit as you would like to be. So we're going to go with the Desire Richards Ross, push, pace, press, and pray. That's what we're going to do. We're going to push that first 100, get up to speed, kind of feel yourself with the other media members and your competitors. Okay, I'm in the pack, whatever. We just going to chill. We're going to sit on it. All right? We ain't going to push too early. We're going to sit on that. And you come around that 200 mark, you get to that. You want to kind of get into your rhythm a little bit more, kind of push. And then, you're going to be hurting, bro. You're going to be hurting, bro. But that last 100, man, just pray and just see that finish line get closer to you, man, and you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Get the medical staff to carry you off the track. We get a dub, Prefontaine champion, and we good.
Woo, Prefontaine champion, feel right, man. I got to do it. I haven't been training anywhere. I kept telling myself, I'm going to do some more running. I have not been doing that. This is going to be bad. My goal, so like I was saying an episode ago, my nephew, he ran states in the 4x4 and as a middle schooler. And I was like, look, I am not going to run slower than him. He didn't perform as well as he usually does. His 400 best is around I think it's like a 55 in high school, something like that. And he ran about a 59. So I was like, all right, I got to beat a 59 because there ain't no way that I'm about to be the second fastest weightsman in this family. It's just not happening. I got to beat this 8th grade kid. That's going to be tough.
59 is a tough benchmark, bro. I can't lie. It is.
Bro, my fat. So to put it in perspective for some people that may not know how fast I was or what I did, I didn't run the 400, but I did a couple 4x4s. My personal best ever is what was it? It was a 49.5, something like that. So that was my best that I've ever done, and that was also when I was running every day. And it's now been 5 years since I've ran. So I don't know. It's gonna be real close, but I'm leaving it all on the track. That's all I can tell you, Coach. So yeah,
we gonna pray that you make it around the track healthy. That's our first goal. Let's make it around the track healthy, and then we can be the fastest weightsman. And
there we go. And even that healthy part, that's gonna be tough. I'm gonna have to make sure I gotta get all this stretching in, doing all that stuff. We'll try to give a detailed breakdown of these of what the warm-up feels like. Anything I should know about Eugene, like about the Eugene track. I've never been on the track. I've never seen anything I should know about, what it's like competing, because you've been at Hayward a couple times. You know what
Long
it's like.
straights, bro. Long straights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. Looking forward to it. So it's not going to be on TV. Unfortunately, we'll have a pool. We'll share all the information. I'll let you guys know how it goes, but we'll see. Hopefully we won't completely look like an idiot and don't tear something in the knees or whatever. So that's the goal. Leave healthy, leave with a record, leave with a championship. We'll have to see. So it's all good stuff. All right. So I know you had your story. Any stories from the track that we can go through, things that you got going on here?
Yeah, man. I got something, bro. So, you just asked me, like, how can I run a better 4? So a lot of people hit my DM asking very similar things, like with training or with competition. And like a high school athlete hit me like a year or two ago. It was like, hey, Noah, big fan, I just want to know how I can run better in 4 in competition. And I was like, I kind of basically told him something very similar to what I told you. I just gave him like real detail. So push, pace, press, pray. But I kind of broke it down more technically, like, okay, to the 70, you could do this transition here, I might have threw too much information at him. I'll try to keep it still like simple, but thanks, bro. Appreciate you so much. Like, keep doing you, whatever. You hit me back. And, I didn't think about it because, I don't know the kid, so it wasn't on my conscience. And, like, a few days later, whatever, he hits me. He's like, OMG, like, that was the worst advice I've ever gotten. Like, I ran so bad, all this shit, like, dogging me. I'm like, damn, nigga. Like, damn, bro. Like, my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to help. But, it was cool. I didn't even respond to bro. But, yeah, that was my little story, my little coaching story from the track, man.
How you going? He's gonna say your advice all trash, but like it's worked for you. So
it's for me and many others, man. Yeah,
it's like, all right, well, maybe you just ain't it ain't maybe the 400 ain't for you. Maybe I don't know. Like, I'll give it something, because like you ain't gonna find for me is like, next episode. So this time next week coming through, I'll tell you guys exactly how this 400 meter ran. Imagine if I come through, I'm like, Noah, those 4 things you said, absolutely ass. I ran a 105. You can't coach for like that's me. That's on me. If I can't do it, it's because I ain't run a 400 in 5 years. But all right, no, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I have any interesting kind of little stories like that? So I have had. This is it's different, but it's involving with, I guess someone that's a younger fan. That was interesting to me. It was the first time I ever got recognized at a track and field event. It was this was wild because like this was at Millrose 2 years ago. I got the Millrose shirt on. This is the shirt that I got while I was there. I'm at the Millrose games. I don't think it was this past year. It was the year before. So I'm out there. And at this point, my Instagram following was probably like 15,000 or something. So it's like, it's big, but it's not anywhere near as large as it is right now. And this one kid comes up to me, and he's probably like 11 or 12, something like that. He's in middle school probably. He comes up, he's like, "Hey, are you the Track World News guy?" I'm like, yeah. Like, why? He's like, "Can I get a picture?" I'm like, all right. I don't think this is going to be valuable for you in the long term, but I'll take that picture. Let's go. Like, post up with him. And he's like, "Great. Can I get your autograph too?" I was like, "Oh, hold on." So one thing, if you know about me, I've been practicing my autograph all the time. I got it down to a science, even though I know like before this, like I'd been practicing this thing for the last 3 years. I love it. My autograph. I was like, oh, this is the time to shine. Somebody has asked me for this thing. I got one chance at making sure this is as crispy as I've been practicing. Hit it. It's a big C and then WAITZ underneath. It's clean. And I was like, all right, let me see your pen, kid. I choked for a half second. It like the pen doesn't start writing. I'm like, shit, this is my one chance, and I messed it up. And end up getting it though. Big autograph. I was just on some like regular piece of paper. I was like, all right, have a good one, man. It's like, yeah, have a nice. It's nice watching your content. So if you were the kid that I signed the autograph for, and you're watching or listening to this podcast right now, please comment and say that was me, and maybe share with me the picture, because that was a cool moment, man. First time recognition a couple years ago. So that was dope. That was dope.
The day Colin became famous. Crazy.
I'm letting the clout go to my head too. People got to start paying me for appearances and all that. So
yeah, we need that. Yeah.
That's cool, bro.
That's funny though, bro. Hey, but since your autograph's so good, you got a pen and paper on you?
Yeah, I got one.
What's
who
up?
do you even make this out to?
Huh?
Yeah, let me show you. Give me a second. Let me show you what it is. All right. This is the autograph. Oh man, I messed that up. Here we go. All right. This is it. Sea weights.
Ooh, okay, there.
There we go.
That's my baseball. That's kind of
what. Yeah. Exactly. So that's my autograph. I would just be like in class, like in college, just like practicing doing this. Just like I was like, Colin, you paying attention? Nope. Making autographs for random people. Like I'm like picturing in my head. Oh man, Colin. Yep, got you. Who am I making this out to? All right, Cindy Lou for sure. Like I ain't never doing all that, but it's cool. It's cool. If I've had this type of stuff, you've had that a couple times. What was the first time you had a fan come up to you, ask like for a picture, for an autograph? Do you remember that first time somebody asked for that?
I don't remember the first time, but I do remember a time I was in Belgrade, Serbia, and I was out there for the indoor worlds. And like after the race, whatever, we ain't do good, but a group of kids, like a whole group, Noah. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Can we get your autograph? Whatever. I'm like, yeah, man. It's all love. So I signed everybody's stuff, and I even gave one on my USA hat because I just couldn't believe, like, what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this is Serbia. I don't know nothing about Serbia, but they know me. This cool. So I was showing the kids mad love, man, and it was just a dope experience. It just makes you feel good about what you're doing,
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, you all the way across the world. It's like, me, like that's cool. That's
it's
crazy.
Surreal, bro. It's surreal. So shout out to them Serbian kids. If y'all watching, man, it's all up. Yo, all right, bro. I hate to keep talking, but when I was in Serbia, I was in Serbia, and the locals was volunteers for the meet, like making sure the shuttles, checking us into the hotel room, making sure everybody got their stuff. And we was there for like a week and a half. When you go to these meets, you're there for like 8-9 days. And I'm just making friends with locals, in the lobby, like just chopping it up, whatever. They're young. So the meet's over, whatever, and they downstairs in the lobby, like all having a good time together, like all the volunteers and they street clothes. And I'm like, yo, like, what's up? What y'all doing? They're like, man, we just ate. Like, we about to pull out some moonshine that we made. I said, some moonshine that y'all made? Hold on, I'm about to go to my room. I'll come down. I'm about to hang out with y'all. So I go to my room, shower, change, whatever, come down. I'm hanging out with them, bro. And like, they was just cool, put me on the game and put me onto their lifestyle and stuff. And, I just had some moonshine with them. Put me down, brother. It was cool, but it was definitely a good experience, man, to be in that energy. So shout out to my Serbian friends, man. They cool.
Shout out to the Serbian friends, man. Did you see what is it? Was Jokic over there too?
Oh yeah, bro. Me and Jokic was riding horses together, man. We was having fun.
There you go, bro. That would be a crazy photo. Have you seen Nikola Jokic on the horse going horseback riding? No, that'd be a hilarious image, man. That'd be hilarious. But awesome. Well, thank you all for another episode of Track World News Podcast. It's been great having you guys along. Up next this weekend, we've got the Prefontaine Classic. I think the NCAA Regional Championship is happening next week as well. And I think there's like California state championships are going to be going on and a few other things that are happening next weekend. So we got a lot of stuff that's going on. Any words for the people before we sign off here, Noah?
So the collegiates, y'all do y'all thing and survive in advance. That's kind of the name of that meet. Survive in advance, don't choke. Make it out the region. And then for the pros, man, go on the pre, have fun. You know what I'm saying? It's a big stage. Make some money. Do your thing. That's kind of it.
There you go. All right. Big weekend. Thank you all for listening. Want to catch up more with us, go check us out on YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. that's going to be it for us here. Have a good one. Peace.